we have a genetic base that, through research that has been conducted many years ago and continues today, has shown that a crossbred female will produce more progeny in her lifetime than a straight-bred female. More pounds of calf weaned per cow exposed. Increase in profitability per year, something over $100 a head, the latest research, and probably more than that with the calf prices we have today.
We think of economic relevance of different suites of traits, and if we break those suites up into reproduction, growth, and carcass, then to a cow-calf enterprise, the most important trait economically is reproduction, followed by growth, and lastly carcass. So having more live calves is more profitable. We know that heterosis impacts reproduction traits the greatest. For a commercial enterprise, crossbreeding actually is a pretty quick way to actually improve reproduction.
Crossbreeding can make an average management system look good. If you excel in your management, it gives you just that much more. But it probably saves you on the bottom side more than it saves you on the top side. We are not good enough to maximize our production without utilizing crossbreeding.
Hi, I'm Pam Minnick. This week on The American Rancher, we'll discuss the three-step approach to maximizing profitability in any genetic program, including your very own farm or ranch. This three-step approach, including crossbreeding, selection of economically superior breeds, and selection of economically superior sires, is crucial to running a successful and profitable cattle business. We'll look at the economic benefits that crossbreeding has on the fertility and longevity of the cow herd, as well as its benefits on other economically relevant traits. We'll look at the importance and method of breed selection and the use of unbiased data. Last but not least, we'll look at how to truly identify economically superior sires, as there are vast differences in the economic value of bulls available to you in the seed stock industry. If you're serious about making money in the cattle business, a simple yet effective crossbreeding system should be the foundation of any successful and profitable genetic program. Stay tuned for more on The American Rancher.
Well, I think a rancher has to be a steward of the land. There's nobody else that can take care of land better than a rancher. When we switched over to the Purina products, it was a step in the right direction.
The difference we see in the cattle is the consistency of their nutrition.
The cattle hold their condition a lot better throughout the whole year.
It does make a difference that we can see, day in and day out.
The country page has a wide variety of cattle from different regions, having the ability to accommodate many of our customers. Our team is always available to assist whatever cattle needs you may have.
I like to use the country page because it gives me advantage to sell these cattle for immediate delivery.
Hard work, dedication, that's one thing that kind of sets the base for the country page.
Country Page is a great option to market your cattle. Visit with your rep today or call the office, and with a few easy steps, we'll have your cattle listed in no time.
At Kenner Simmental, we respect our customers' needs and strive to produce genetics to meet the demands of the beef industry. By carefully selecting genetics with phenotype, calving ease, docility, performance, and carcass value, we are able to satisfy the producer and the consumer. Join us at the ranch in Leeds, North Dakota on February 14th for our annual production sale with over 100 bulls and 70 bred heifers. Stop by anytime and check us out online at KennerSimmental.com.
Welcome back to The American Rancher. When it comes to making money, the most important traits on your ranch revolve around the cow herd and involve your cow's fertility and stayability. Although it's difficult to make vast improvements through genetic selection of these traits due to low heritability, there is hope in the form of crossbreeding.
The most important genetic tool we have to influence reproduction that I'm aware of is having a crossbred female.
What we see mostly is that crossbreeding can improve economically important traits very quickly. Among those are age at puberty, fertility, and longevity. From the standpoint of the cow-calf operator, those are probably the biggest things. From the standpoint of a feed yard operator, crossbreeding also helps a great deal with immune response. So calf health in the feed yard is affected by crossbreeding as well.
I think the industry is a little confused in some of the things that have come out. They talk about straight bred cattle performing just as well in the feedlot, going to the rail and those things. And yeah, there are straight bred cattle that will, but the number one benefit of a crossbred female, or is for that crossbred female, is an expression of reproduction in pounds of calf weaned per cow exposed. And it's not about end product weight. And the carcass weights are all the same now with all the breeds, according to the last Meat Animal Research Center. But the compositional differences still exist. The Continentals have more lean meat yield. The British, more quality grade and more yield grade 4s. But the bottom line is crossbreeding benefits the commercial producer because that crossbred female will produce 1 to 2 more calves in her lifetime.
The data in the industry shows that crossbred cows will improve net calving rate by about 4% on average. Typically we'll see about a 16% increase in weaning weights from crossbreds, and longevity is typically improved by about 1.3 years compared to a straight bred cow being able to stay in the herd a little bit longer. All those things are pretty important from the standpoint of the rancher's bottom line profit. The key in this thing is maternal heterosis, or incorporating the crossbred cow into your program. Not just going for the crossbred calf that will perform in the feed yard, but getting some maternal heterosis in your cow herd is where you'll reap many of these benefits.
Although we see the largest economic benefits of crossbreeding in the cow herd, it's no secret to packers, feedlot producers, ranchers, and all industry professionals that the feedlot and packing industry benefit from crossbreeding as well. And whether you retain ownership and take advantage of those benefits, or you just want a happy cattle buyer that keeps coming back and paying more, crossbreeding will pay off.
I would say in the about 22 years we've been here, we've probably gone from having 10 to 20% crossbred cattle to probably 80% or 90. I think even some of the straight bred, the purebred breeders that we feed for of other breeds other than Simmental, more of their customers are crossbreeding. Obviously heterosis has a lot of value, and we definitely see that value.
So we do prefer crossbreeding over straight bred cattle. We really like that hybrid vigor that comes with it. We find that extra stretch in cattle that gets us extra outweight and extra dollars to work with, and also offers more market flexibility. We find that we're able to combine quality grade and yield grade better in a crossbred situation. And the one thing that we find is our top 10% of cattle, they're in the top 10 of conversion, all have to have hybrid vigor. Our purebreds don't compete in the conversion standpoint alone. That hybrid vigor seems to raise those cattle in that top 10%.
The benefits of crossbreeding and the effects it has on your bottom line are clear. However, whether you're a full-time rancher, farmer, or work another job, you likely don't have the time or resources to implement or manage a complicated and highly involved genetic program. That's why keeping your breeding program simple while maintaining its effectiveness is extremely important.
There's a lot of different potential crossbreeding systems, rotational systems, terminal systems, and some of those admittedly can be complex. And there are producers that can manage those things quite well and take advantage of multi-breed rotational systems. But it doesn't have to be that complex. And given what the average cow herd size in the U.S. is, most commercial producers simply don't have the resources to make those kind of systems work. And so in my mind, and research has shown that composite animals actually provide that solution. So be it Sim Angus, Gelbvieh Balancer, those kinds of programs allow producers to take advantage of 2 or more breeds in one bull. And it becomes a fairly straightforward way to implement crossbreeding.
The one thing that has been done by breeds, and Simmental have probably been leading this, is making crossbred bulls to simplify crossbreeding. Still got a lot of straight-bred sim breeders. We need them. We need them to have the composites, and we need them to make that step to the hybrid bull. So if a commercial operation, and obviously Angus is predominant in the industry, if they decided maybe I should consider some of the research that has shown the importance of having a crossbred female, how do you do that? Well, it's fairly simple in my mind. You have a straight Angus, you cross that with a straight Simmental to begin with, and then you have an F1, right? You have a 50-50 Angus Simmental, and then you find a supplier that produces hybrid bulls, of which there are more and more.
The second step to maximizing profitability is to select the breeds that will make you the most money in your crossbreeding program. The most accurate breed comparisons to make profit-driven breed selection decisions for your operation are released annually by the Beef Improvement Federation and can be found at beefimprovement.org. Take a look at these breeds and it will become very clear which breeds lead the industry in profitability and why.
When implementing any kind of breeding program, it's important to step back and ask a couple of fundamental questions. One, what are my environmental constraints? So climate, rainfall, forage availability, those kinds of things. And understand that whatever I attempt to do from a marketing perspective has to fit within those constraints. And then of course, define what my marketing objective is. Do I retain my own replacement heifers? Do I purchase them? When is the ideal selling point? And once you answer those things, you can begin to decide what breeds actually fit you the best.
Well, I think Sim Angus is a great cross that combines great maternal ability with some additional growth, while at the same time maintaining carcass quality. It is a breed cross that will do all of those things for you.
Most of the cattle we've seen, we're still maintaining the marbling level or exceeding, in most cases, what we were getting with the straight-bred English. So, you know, the traits you really see value in are muscling related, but we're keeping the marbling there, and outweight and carcass weight, which is extremely important. Sometimes we overlook that. We all get on the marbling kick, but boy, it's still pounds going out. The better the pounds are, the more value that animal has. So I think the Simmental, the semi-cross, if you look at these cattle stand behind me, they're attractive, they're big, they're efficient, and they hang up good carcass. So we like it. We're feeding more of them all the time.
No storm is too powerful for new Purina Wind and Rain Storm Minerals, formulated with ultimate weather resistance. That means more minerals in the feeder and available to your cattle. Wind and Rainstorm Minerals provide more consistent intake and balanced mineral nutrition to optimize herd health and breedback rates. See the difference at your local Purina dealer or visit cattlenutrition.com. Wind and Rainstorm Minerals, another way Purina is building better cattle.
Simmental fit the needs of today's cattle industry, and North Dakota Simmental producers are leading the way. The performance, predictability, and great cows take out the guesswork to make your operation profitable. The total package of Simmental is ideal for any crossbreeding program, and the growth, feed efficiency, and carcass quality make profitable market steers. State-of-the-art EPDs help you manage your cow herd, and the maternal calving ease, high fertility, and great dispositions are ideal for crossbreeding. North Dakota has been the #1 registration state for Simmental and Sim Angus cattle for the past decade and is home to many of the industry's top breeders and genetics. The North Dakota Simmental Association would like to invite you to their annual meeting, banquet, and sale December 12th and 13th in Bismarck, North Dakota. For more information, visit northdakotasimmental.com and be sure to look up some of the nation's top producers for Sim genetics.
Join us at noon Central Standard Time on Friday, November 21st for the 8th annual OK Select Replacement Female Sale, offering 400 replacement females including fall pairs and spring breds. These females will be predominantly Black Angus base with some Black Baldies and Red Angus. Here's a great opportunity to restock your cow herd with quality genetics. Sale will be held live from the Buford Ranch in Welch, Oklahoma. To get your buyer number, call Superior Livestock today.
Breeds of Cattle 2nd edition is available now through this exclusive offer. This handsome deluxe edition is the perfect gift for that hard-to-find someone. This volume is exquisitely written and illustrated with full-color, formal portraits. A fine addition to any den, office, or living room. It's sure to please. Unwrap yours today.
Welcome back to The American Rancher. Once you've established a simple yet effective crossbreeding system and selected economically superior breeds, it all comes down to selecting economically superior sires. The number of bulls available to you is vast and is increasing all the time. Sorting out the wheat from the chaff is important if you want to stay at the top. The use of EPDs and economic indexes will give you the leg up when it comes to putting the most profitable genetics on your rancher farm.
So EPDs, or expected progeny differences, are really the currency of the realm relative to comparing sires for their genetic potential and trying to get a feel for the differences between them for a variety of economically relevant traits. EPDs include a variety of information, including an animal's own records, pedigree information, so information from ancestors or collateral relatives, and then once they become a parent, progeny information as well. The neat thing about EPDs is they sort out the environmental differences. So when you select on EPDs, you're really selecting on solely the genetic merit of animals, whereas if you were to select on actual weights, for instance, an animal's actual weight is actually a combination of their genetic merit plus the environmental benefits or unfortunately sometimes deficits that they have to go through. So a great example is birth weight. We know, generally speaking, you move into colder climates in the north, birth weights increase. Warmer climates in the south, birth weights decrease. But yet the genetic merit of those animals for birth weight could be absolutely identical. And so for producers that really want some kind of prediction as to what the next generation of animals are going to be, EPDs are the logical choice. If an enterprise is honest with itself, there are several traits that truly influence the bottom line, or profitability. And as a consequence, selection for profitability includes multiple traits. Now, those traits are completely dependent on the herd, what their environmental constraints are, what their marketing objectives are, and so forth. Economic index values put together a combination of EPDs, or a combination of traits, and the traits that are weighted more heavily really are the traits that might influence profitability more given the intended use of the index. So an example is a terminal-based index. Obviously in an index like that, end product weight, carcass weight, is going to be weighted fairly heavily because under the assumption of retaining ownership through the feed yard and selling those cattle, carcass weight's a large driver. Marbling would also be weighted heavily. But something that's more maternal in nature, like milk, likely wouldn't even be in the index. If we think about a more maternally oriented index, something like calving ease direct, calving ease maternal, maternal milk, weaning weight, things like that might be in the index, whereby end product traits, yield grade, carcass marbling wouldn't be. So it really depends on the assumptions of the index. And the important thing with that is producers need to really understand what index is appropriate for them. A neat tool that puts together multiple traits, though, and weights them economically are bioeconomic index values. And there's several breed associations that offer those now. And they're really a collection of EPDs multiplied by an economic weighting. And it provides one numerical value that producers can use to rank potential sires. And more than that, not just rank sires, but also determine to their operation the potential benefit economically of one sire versus another. I think all too often producers are reluctant to use indexes, one, because they don't fully understand them, but then two, there's sometimes a thought that the economic weightings aren't appropriate for their particular operation. And what we know through research is the correlation between index values, even given different economic weightings, given different marketing scenarios, is pretty high. So it would take a gross change in the market environment to actually make those weightings inappropriate. Although in some cases they may not be absolutely perfect, they're not going to change the ranking of sires. They're not going to change the bull that you would pick at the end of the day.
The three-step process of crossbreeding, selecting economically superior breeds, and selecting economically superior sires is essential to the success and profitability of your operation and genetic program. The American Simmental Association is committed to the success of the commercial industry and is glad to help you with your genetic program. They've crossed the breed association barrier and worked with other breed associations, universities, and beef companies to serve the commercial cattlemen. This alliance with other parts of the industry has been labeled International Genetic Solutions and is a symbol of their commitment to your success. This sort of cooperation is essentially unheard of, and they are excited to lead the industry towards unprecedented genetic improvement for the commercial cattlemen.
I think the partnerships where the breed associations are working together instead of against each other is nothing but positive for the industry. Let's take Simmental and Red Angus as an example. I've spoken on a number of programs for the two groups in a joint format, and providing information to those groups that can be used to crossbreed.
Where there are pedigree ties, we can actually join breed association databases and run a crossbreed or a multi-breed genetic evaluation and take advantage of data from multiple sources. And so there are examples where that's happening. Simmental's multi-breed evaluation now, which I think does a couple of things to empower a national cattle evaluation. It does make use of multiple sources of data, but it also enables producers in a relatively straightforward fashion to be able to compare bulls across multiple breeds because they're running the same evaluation.
I appreciate that the breeds are working together more, for one thing, because obviously crossbreeding is increasing, I think, across the board. I know it is here. And so working with other breed associations is it's similar to some of the things we're doing in the feedlot industry. We work way closer with our packer now than we used to, packers, and the relationship is more open. And I think that's just a sign of the times, and it's a good thing to get that information out to people.
This three-step approach to breeding for profit has been proven through research and on the ranch. If you're serious about making money in the cattle business, make sure you are seriously using the best tools available and working with the best people in the business. For more information on these steps to maximizing profitability, or with any other questions, feel free to contact the American Simmental Association at 406-587-4531 or visit the International Genetic Solutions website at internationalgeneticsolutions.com. Remember, International Genetic Solutions and the American Simmental Association exists to serve you. That's all the time we have today. We want to thank all of our generous sponsors for helping bring you this inside look at maximizing your profitability. For more information about the American Rancher, look for us on the web or on Facebook. For the entire American Rancher team, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.